Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. All right, we've got a lot of things to talk about today. Let me turn up my music. All right, people. Which one do you want to pick first? Technology and science? Give me one break to start. Sorry about that. Emergency call. But let's start with science and technology. People don't like me for one reason. I can only deal with the truth. I do not like it, liars. I do not like storytellers. I do not like false information. And you could prove things to yourself if you really want to. Or you could live in fantasy land and dreamland, whatever words you want to believe in. Starting with technology. We could have been so far advanced in our technology if mankind was even working together. But we're not. You have people like Musk, Putin, Trump, all working at some weird level of developing a better planet, developing a better world. Like they have a clue. And then people talk about world peace. Well, technology is moving forward at a strange level and not for the benefit of human race. Technology gives us false information constantly. Science and space are actually giving us negative information, false information, and things that will slowly hurt and destroy the planet in the long run. Now, when Musk says, oh, well, he wants to go to Mars, and then he comes up with the spaceship that's coming, how much does he know about anything? He knows nothing about Mars. For him to say he wants to go there. Then they talk about the signals coming from the spaceship. Like robots, AI, where are they going to take us? Nowhere beneficial for the human race. Well, I don't really care about the human race right now. I care about the small children growing into humans, big humans, all right, that have a brain that can do something to the planet and everything else. But to do something good is incredibly impossible in this world right now. The poor and middle class people are suffering, are going to be suffering even more as time goes on, as Mr. Rumpo tries to take everything away from everybody and feed the rich. But the technology we're using in the Army, the Navy, the Marines, scientists, people don't know what's really going on within that. I want to say this. Let's start with Mr. Rumpo trying to say we need to do nuclear testing. Well, that just shows you how ignorant he is, because the fact is a nuclear bomb is one of the least powerful weapons that we have right now. mean, it was a proton bomb, neutron bomb, electron bomb, of course, the hydrogen bomb, the atom bomb. Those words all are different aspects of a bomb that's not as powerful as the weapons we have today. Now, if you want to know who brought the weapons that we have today, it wasn't a scientist. No, it wasn't some brain person like Tesla and Einstein that figured all this out. Because they didn't. Einstein actually worked with what he called an inner experience with aliens. Tesla, on the other hand, said he actually worked with aliens, which he did. They gave him technology because he invented 200 inventions. All right, 50 of the most deadliest weapons on this planet, which he gave to the United States. People, do you understand that time travel is real? He was working on a doomsday weapon when he disappeared, whether he's really alive or not, or his drone is still alive, a clone, whatever word you want to use, because he was in New York in a hotel room for 10 years under his own hidden bubble. All right, whether it was really him or not, a different story. But he never made money, and everybody wanted him. All the people that made electricity and everything else going down the line wanted him because of what he was creating. The sad part is, people think he's one of the smartest people on the planet. As of his own notes, what he said, people will not use my stuff wisely. All right? As if he knew what he was giving to the world. But in the different realms, including the UFO realm, we have people coming out, trying to work with the government, talking about how we can move into the future, free energy and all that. Imagine everything was free. Who would work and who would work for who? All right. The rich people sure would not want to do anything, which they still don't. And that's why they have workers. So technology means faster cars, faster rockets, faster equipment, smaller devices. And I don't know if you noticed for the past 50 years, technology just makes things smaller. What was this big is now this big. Even a satellite is about this big now. All right? Or even smaller. And you could put 100 on a ship. And if it was the old one, it was only one they could put on a ship. Or it was the ship. People, what you're fed about technology is like they say what the Army does. They don't release anything for 25 years, or maybe even 50 years, depending on how top secret it is. Well, I'm not going to go into the details because everything I tell you, I put my life on the line, and I'm only accountable to God. Not Mr. Trumpo, Putin, anybody like that. Only to God. And I will die by that. If they take me out, fine. Because just to show you, in the UFO world, 16 of my best friends, well, not all of them were my best friends, but my friends were taken out. 2 whole families were taken out. One's still alive in a nut house in Long Island, and another one's alive in jail, serving out a murder sentence, which he did not do. All right. Now, a good friend of mine, Sean David Morton, who is now dead, was convicted of 150 crimes, which he did none of. They had no documents, no proof of anything, and no witnesses when he went to court. But there was a serious problem with that. He was a sovereign citizen, which he was trying to help people become. All right? But when you're a sovereign citizen and you go into court, you're not allowed public defense. You're not allowed to speak in court because you're not considered their public citizen. All right? So he was there listening to what they said and ended up going to jail. So did his wife. But here's the thing, people. He didn't do the things they said he did. They claimed he took millions of dollars. If he did, he would have did a movie. He wouldn't be just hoarding it. But I was friends with him. I hung out with him. I was his bodyguard when he came to the East Coast. But people, he was one of the top people in the UFO world. one of the smartest people on the planet, no lie. And I'm not making it up. But he also did things that are critically important to the UFO world, like discovered Area 51, brought people there to see the mothership come in, and all that's hidden. Everything that's factual or important is being taken down. People put lies on top of it. Like, okay, Phil Snyder, the second most important UFO story, all right? Oh, they said he committed suicide. Well, read what happened to him. Read what he did. Read how it all went down. One of the most important UFO stories there is. Read it. Phil Snyder. All right. Then we have the Montauk Project. I don't know if you ever heard of that. The Philadelphia Experiment. All right. What was that? It was real. I was good friends with the only person that actually went back in time at that time. People, you want to live in dreamland? Dream that the president cares about you. Dream that he's going to help you. Dream that he's going to do anything good for the human people that are poor, middle class, or elderly, sickly. All right? He doesn't care about them. Rich people don't. If you're a millionaire, a billionaire, or trillionaire, and you live in a castle, you want homeless people living around it or poor people living around you? The way they think? They don't care. They don't want them there. I'm in Hawaii. We have the highest number of homeless people, and they move them around like garbage. They won't even let them stay in places where the only place they can survive. They're not helping them move forward. People, I'm going into this because, I'm sick of seeing all these emails begging for money. Money doesn't solve anything. Money's not going to make a person vote for somebody. Unless you're like Musk and give somebody $1 million to vote for Mr. Trumpo. Really? And that went by with nobody complaining. All right, how do we know, people, and this is what you should think about, when people were counting the votes, and people did, how did we know that people weren't bribed? How about these people that were counting the votes? How about Musk said, hey, I'll give you $2 million just to double count or something? I would check every single person that was a counter, check their family and them, all their records to see if any money's in any of their hands, because I'm sure now they'd be trying to use it. But people, you're being deceived by the president, people in Congress, people all over the government. They're lying to you. And now the whole Epstein case, watch. They're going to do everything they can to twist it, put the wrong people in there, blame all everybody else, and leave Trump out of it. Trump brought Elon Musk to his land where they could live together. And they worked together for 9 years, roughly. They went to parties. They did everything together. Now, what's on top of that, when Trump went to the Playboy Club, all right, he was thrown out by by Hefner, all right? Why? He ended their friendship and even said, I'm sorry I even put you on Playboy magazine. But he's also dead, all right? Now, people that I know that were important are all dead in science. Now, 1996 was the most dangerous year for top scientists, UFO people, because roughly it took 90% of those people out everywhere. All right, people I know, families, the whole thing. All right. MJ12 is the name you should know, and nobody ever mentions that word, the same as nobody mentions the New World Order. Oh, you type AI? Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Ignorance. If you believe AI is programmed by the thoughts of mankind. How many people in the United States know what or where the New World Order is in the United States? Well, if it's in the Ozarks, it's bigger than the White House. It has like a 6-8 foot wall around it. It was exposed years ago. Jesse Ventura exposed more things than any other person. And he did a TV show for 2.5 years. Not even the half of the third year. They took him off the air right away. He exposed more things, including FEMA camps, the HARP system, chemtrails. He went into all of them. All right, people? And they're all real. Sorry to bust your little bubbles. Oh, that's make-believe. Even Bigfoot is real. And I swear my life on that because I was next to one. All right? I mean, a foot away from one, not looking through binoculars or anything else. All right, people, I'm probably one of the most realest people you're going to hear talk about the truth because I believe in God, I'm under God, and I don't care what anybody says or thinks about me. Truth hurts. Truth doesn't make you feel good ever. We're destroying the planet. That should make you be thinking, what am I doing wrong? Who am I listening to? Well, keeping back with the part of, we'll get into spiritual, but they all fit together. What controls the multi-universe is God. But what he created, I say it, not he, it created was deities and angels. And that's what the lower realms deal with. Now, getting to science, who do they deal with? What they can pull up with a magnifying glass, microscope, technology on planet Earth. They have no clue to psychic abilities, angels, deities, God, death, reincarnation. All right, they're not into it because they don't have a God. They don't have a belief system. And if they do, it's so corrupted. My brother went to college. He went to St. Peter's College. All right, they made him take science. All right, and they made him take religion. They're teaching one thing in religion and then they're teaching them in science that it's all fake. Time, blah, blah, blah. You know, nobody wants anybody to know the truth. Religions were so programmed when they were created. Now, and if you think going further back and pulling up more documents and more books from ancient times going to tell you what's really happening, we're as smart as we ever were now. So imagine what the dumbass people were doing in those days. So I think it's a spaceship. I think it's an alien. Whatever words they used for it. I'm watching the sky. I see TV. I mean, you know, these people are in a different level of awareness. And when Jesus was alive, there was fishermen, farmers, and horseshoe makers and things like that. What did they know about science? Go back into the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incas, and all those kind of tribal people. What did they know as far as science? Nothing. So how did they do everything? Because they did have help. And well, maybe, there's no such thing as a maybe. Reality is real. Somehow it got there. They have ancient artifacts, proven time does not exist to what we know it or perceive it to be. The devices they found from ancient history. All right? Well, they had this and they had that. Well, how did they have that? Where did they make it from? How did they make it? With a rock and a piece of wood or what? How did they make it? People, you want to believe bullshit all the time. That's your choice. Watch Ancient Aliens. Watch all those kind of shows. Well, it might be, could be. Ancient alien people believe. Believe is a word that doesn't mean anything until you can prove it to yourself. You can believe in God. You can believe in death. You can believe in anything you want. But until it happens, it's not real. Or it shouldn't be real to you. Thinking that somebody, all right, I don't want to go through too many topics at the same time, but history is the biggest lie. I started in medicine when I was 26 years, and her word was his story, which is all it is. DNA. They're telling they work with 12 DNA strands. It's 32, and it's probably triple that if we had better technology. All right. And then DNA is like the most important thing for talent. You know, only one tribe on people on this planet have a different DNA than the rest of the world. I'm not going to go into it. I don't want people debating and fighting with those kind of people. But there is one tribe. All right. So when we say we all came from Africa, the planet was one piece of land and it split up. Yes. That's how come there's like 563 native tribes here. But there's one original tribe, one, that lived in the United States forever. And it's called the Hopi people. Okay, they have a different DNA than everybody else. They lived underground. They came out to meet the white man, which was a sad story. But the white man tried to make them fight with the Apache people. All right, and they tried to start riots and Navajo people. And that's all the white man did as they killed them and slaughtered them. 50 million native people were killed during that whole time frame. All right, now, what's that have to do with Was science involved with all that during that time frame? Weapons, gunpowder, bombs, cannons. I mean, what was scientific about anything they were working with? Did they care about going to the moon or to Mars or anything like that? Of course not. What were the words they used? All right, we were evil. Mankind was always evil. But seriously, think about it. It was the white races, European and all those countries, that were the evil people. England, Britain. They were the ones that came into the United States and slaughtered the native people, made laws and everything else. The Constitution is something totally different. All right. Now, when the Constitution was created, the people involved, Jefferson was alive, Benjamin, and all these different people, but George Washington. But we go back to Lincoln and all these different time frames. What was going on? Why did they kill Lincoln? All right. Then we could move up to modern time when Kennedy was killed. Why did they kill him? Why did they kill Marilyn Monroe? Oh, she committed suicide. Anybody the government doesn't like happen. Two things happen. They commit suicide, for one, or they have a heart attack. It's easy to give a person a heart attack. And technology, right now the government has an injection, which they give most of the people that enlist in the Army, that can take them out any time they want to remove them. All right. Now, I knew a person in the Navy, and he was going to release the UFO files. And they took him and arrested him and said he killed somebody. His family's still going to see him. He didn't kill nobody. All right. Bill Snyder was lecturing about going into an alien base with 67 Green Berets. They were all killed. All right. He was one of the few people that escaped, but his hand was blown off straight across. His gut was cut from here down to his groin, and his foot was blown out. Oh, he tried committing suicide. That's what you hear. Science is ridiculous. First off, they're not trying to prove anything important. Second of all, science gives us great stories that have no factual proof. Can you prove that a black hole is real? They're even proving that it's not. The Big Bang Theory is a theory. Nobody can prove it. Aliens will say it happened, but that's a lie too. They're also programmed. Nobody's beyond the physical realm, meaning the astral plane, which is where souls go when they die. All right, I'm going to get into that. We're going to go back and forth here. Please follow. If you want truth, I do a show every Thursday, which is about UFOs, but I'm doing a spiritual show as often as I can now as well. All right, there's a big separation in everything. God, quote, president, all right, two separate entities. But who has more control over you? Satan. Who has control over Trump? Satan. Who has control over Musk? Satan. Not God, not the government. Money is evil. It always has been. Native tribes never used money. They bartered, which was a good system at the time. But here's the thing, people. The government has one mission, and it's not what we think it is. They work with aliens, people, whether you want to hear that or not. They have been since 1950. All right, Eisenhower and Truman both had to deal with that. Because the year I was born, fleets of UFOs went over the White House, 1952. All right, and that's when they created MJ-12, which is the highest government force in the United States that oversee anything they have to. Take out anybody they need to. All right, I lost 16 friends. All right, 2 families, and I'm not going to go on about that. But people, it's as real as it gets. I do a show every Thursday with a woman that's been abducted most of her life. Now she's getting threats. The men in black went to her sister's house. They tried killing her boyfriend twice in front of the house. I mean, we're on a watch list. Me personally, everybody I knew was taken out. I spent 6 years doing UFO work with a friend who sold out. We had a fight, and he sold out to the government. And he ended up with houses, cars, and money. All right, but now he's claiming he's Jesus' disciple. People, what the government does to stop the truth from getting out is incredibly horrible. but it's our government. And ask yourself why. Because nothing that's happening by the eternal works is about you and me. All right, technology, like spaceships and all that, we just created the #1 spaceship on the planet, people. They're going to release it hopefully soon. It costs. It has almost every weapon Tesla invented, plus everything else that they had. All right. Whether Trump even has a clue what it looks like or what it is or was even inside it. All right. Because he's talking about nuclear bombing, testing. That's the least of our worries about that kind of a weapon. A directed energy beam is more powerful, more dangerous, and a lot easier to use and work with because you don't have to do all these extra things or build anything special. People, you can live in a box. All right. Science and every drug and every medicine they give you does not help make you better. Now, one medicine for hepatitis 3, my partner had to take it. It was only $70,000, and you had to take it for 3 months. It was $1,000 a pill. All right. One medicine. Most medicines, watch it on TV, watch any commercial. You're taking a medicine for pain in your arm. Be careful, the side effects is you could die. What? I mean, all the side effects on these medicines are 10 times worse than what you're treating. And that's called science and technology. All right. Now, you can't use anything natural and say it's a medicine, like a lemon, an orange, or things like that. Otherwise, they have to take it off and make it a medicine and label it that and put it as a prescription. People, you're so programmed into a horrible problem of a situation that's sick. All right. Science is moving forward with computers and AI. All right. AI will be our danger, which may be the death of the planet within 6 years. I'd say 3, when they start taking over and actually thinking. Now, that's going to happen. Now, Japan was putting a computer chip to a brain 30 years ago. All right. Now, AI was given to us, all right, for one, but it will become active. And you say, how? That's impossible. Well, everything you think is impossible can happen. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be able to think about it. I mean, things do happen that you have to see, like an earthquake and volcano and all those kind of things. But the reality is we're in danger. Now, getting back to science, they talk about this, that, and the other thing. Al Gore, he came out with global warming. Mr. Trump, there's no such thing. All right. Now, every scientist is saying global warming is going to do this and doing that and doing this, which it is doing. Now, when Gore came out and spread the word about global warming, he was getting millions of dollars to promote it. The person that was promoting him had to leave the country. But he got all this money, and now that I guess they're going to brainwash him as well. But nobody actually told the truth of what's causing global warming. How's that? Why is that? It was not antifreeze. It wasn't styrofoam cups or styrofoam plates. It was not cow farts. Right? All these things. And Gates thinks, so we got to eliminate cows, eliminate cow farts, and make people eat crickets and whatever. Really? Do you believe we're going in any kind of normal direction? Why they're selling out all the horses in the United States, and they are, all right, as food. That's what they excuse they're giving them to other countries for, but they don't want people to have any kind of transportation when this all goes down. A horse, you can get somewhere. Without gas, your car's going to go nowhere. People, you're being set up, and you only got 4 years, all right? All right, my birthday is in 2 weeks, but next year is the starting of the countdown of the total destruction of the planet. Population depletion, meaning they want less than half of the population and down to maybe even a quarter. All right? Now, on top of that, you don't know, and nobody in government is talking about the underground cities. And they're real. And there's many of them. And there's up to 10,000 people in them, in each one of them. about subway systems underground. Musk is talking about let's make a speed. They have technology beyond your wild belief underground. They had hydroponics farming was created for underground use, people. All right, because they don't want the sun or the air from this planet hitting them. All right, they're so far underground. Now, I'm going to tell you something that people don't even know. The water during California's water shortage was being pumped underground. I'm not going to go into all the details, but it was. When they had power failures, which they had all the time, right? Well, everybody's using too many air conditioners. It was called H. When they turned it on, which was in Alaska, it would suck all the energy out of the ground. And if they didn't shut the power grid down, it would blow up underneath the earth. So people, you listen to shit and you believe it. We're going to hell every single day, more and more. I'm not even getting into relationships and love and all those words, which are so fake right now. But let's stick with science and what they're doing. Global warming has, I'm not going to say them all, because there's 5 major things that cause global warming. But the things you do know, solar flares, earthquakes, volcanoes, you do know that. But what's beyond that? What's causing the belt around the planet shifting? What's causing the planet to move? And it is moving, all right, off its axis. And there's a certain point when it reaches, the whole planet will spin out of control. All right, you don't hear that. You don't want to hear that our ozone layer is gone. Oh, science says we could replace it. But they're not. If you just for size-wise, I can't give you the actual measurements. It was a mile wide. Now it's less than 1/4 of an inch wide. Australia has the biggest holes in the ozone layer over them. Kids going to school, if they don't wear shirts, get burnt and everything else. Do you have a clue what's going on the planet? And do you care? Sure, no. If you get your food every day, you pay your bills, you drive around in a sports car, you go to the movies, go to dinner, and things like that, you're okay. But that's not going to happen much longer. Once we hit the bottom, which is pretty close to where we're going to go to, everything's going to stop. Car manufacturing, batteries, and all those words that we need and have. Trump wants to stick with gasoline. But guess where he wants to get it from? All the reservations have more gasoline on there than the rest of the planet, and they can supply the planet for 100 years. And he knows that. I'm not going to go into that. It's another horrible story about what's happened to the Native people. You saw the picture on the beginning of my screen. That was Leonard Peltier. I marched on the UN years ago to help free Leonard Peltier because he was arrested with false charges. He was head of the Native Nation. And they don't want anybody head of the Native Nation because they removed him, put him in jail. And what they did, they implanted their own people in all the reservations to control them. And there's not that many people. There was 1 million Native people, true Native people left after they killed 50 million. So guess what? The small percentages. Now there's more just about equal golf courses on the United States as the land that they gave to the Native people. And I'm going to throw a lot of stuff at you. Biden, his last week before he left presidency, put a video up about what happened to the Native people. Everybody should be forced to watch it. It's real. It's true. It's not lies. It's not make-believe stories. All right, let's move back to what happened. I mean, you heard of Wounded Knee, you heard of all the Tierra trails, and you heard all these stories, but they're real. A story means something that's fabricated. I mean, truth, reality is real. All right. When Wounded Knee happened, they slaughtered women and children. I mean, they raped a lot of women, but they killed just about everybody there. All right. There was only a few men there. I don't know if you believe in reincarnation and things like that. I'll get to that at the end, but I'm not going to go into it now. But when they slaughtered all those people, there was no men there. Now, Crazy Horse was called Crazy for a reason. Geronimo was one of the most savage warriors there existed. He only had 13 people with him and one woman. And they attacked army after army and took them out. But some stupid program by Sitting Bull told Crazy Horse and Geronimo, we surrender and the world become better. The biggest foolish thing they ever did. They both surrendered. Crazy Horse was killed a week later in jail. Geronimo was taken around the United States as a puppet, having people take pictures of a savage. He died 15 years later when they were going to release him. People, the stories are horrible. It wasn't the red man that was scalping people. It was the white man. The white man had to show a scalp, and if they showed a scalp, they got money for it. Man, woman, and child. Just to show you the difference. $25 for a child's scalp, $50 for a woman's scalp, $75 for a man's scalp. All right. And that's real. Now, the gun thing was created so these people could shoot Native people. Not to protect themselves. I mean, yeah, protecting their farm and things like that. Out to be. They weren't killers. Tribes were existing without killing each other. I mean, Pocahontas and all those stories when white man came into the United States, and English and the British and the Spanish. All right. You don't know history because you know lies. You don't know the facts behind it. I studied with medicine for 26 years. I sat with many of the elders across the United States. I was with Thomas Bianca right before he died. And he carried the Hopi prophecy. And he said, if the white man doesn't unite with the red man, the world will be destroyed. And it's getting closer to that. White men never became friends with Native people. You don't see Native stories on TV ever, do you? When the pipeline was happening, Trump was president, they were torturing him and doing all kinds of things. And they didn't repeat that on TV at all. They said a few people protesting the pipeline. Thousands of Native people stood there all winter, and they were hosing them down in the middle of the night, freezing and having helicopters over them and sigging dogs on them. It was a horrible thing. And then when Trump, right before he was leaving office the last time, he said, well, I'm going to pass a bill. Anybody that tries to stop a pipeline will get 25 years in jail. Because he was having pipelines going across the native land and taking their oil. People, you believe what you want. You believe other people. I tell my partner, you'll listen to everybody else except me. Why is that? The truth is something you don't ever want to hear. Why are you on planet Earth? Have children, have sex, have drugs, fly a plane. What? Make the world better? We make anything better? In 200,000 years, what did we make better? Technology. And technology is a word that I wanted to explain. It's not getting better. Technology has nothing to do with spiritual. Spiritual has nothing to do with technology. And religion is the farthest away from all of them. All right? Now, when science goes to work on an object, they don't look at what's really going on. They just have to prove cells move and what causes a cell to move. And when a miracle happens, they're not ready to prove that or want to, and they won't. They're not going to prove in psychic abilities because that's almost impossible right now. Even though, go back to the Mayans and the Aztecs and all that, what was going on? How did these things happen? And who was responsible for it? Not Joe Schmo with his psychic ability. But I'm going to go into spiritualism. We'll go back to this. All right. Now, there was so many religions on our planet. There's actually over 2,000 right now. The first religion on planet Earth was Hinduism. All right. And they believed in animals at first, and then they believed into deities and worked with deities. Deities are real people, but they don't work here on this planet no more. Everything that comes to this planet gets tired of dealing with junk. And if you want to live in a junkyard and sell junk parts for the rest of your life, go right ahead. Soul's here for a reason, which science can't prove. They can't prove what soul is. Even though years ago they said they can measure a body when soul leaves it. You don't hear much about that. And where's it going? What's it going to do? They have no clue. And now a secondary thing that's happening, drugs. People do a lot of drugs when they get out of their body and Oscar and peyote and all those kind of words. It takes what the brain knows and twists it and deforms it. All right. Now, when you experience something you never saw before, when you leave your body, all right, you're not looking at yourself anymore. Go to a place that you have never been on a different world. Why see aliens walking around building houses? Well, that's because you're still in the lower plane, planet Earth, the physical world and realm, which science is all they can deal with. They can't deal with the astral plane. None of the formulas, none of the equations, none of those things match how the astral plane vibrates. All right? So when your body dies, soul slips out of it. Now, what it's here for, it probably didn't learn. Science is not teaching them that, and neither is school. So what happens is they go to the astral plane, I'm going to tell you, for between 5 and 10 years. And then they reincarnate back into a human body. And it's not who they choose, where they want to go. You didn't learn anything when you were here. So I don't think you have the right to do whatever you want when you come back. I mean, just to show you the perversion in that word alone. My cousin he went to church like I did when I was little. And he goes, means you come back. It means you can come back and do it all over? He goes, you mean I could go out and screw 100 women and come back and do it all over again? That's a brain power of programming and being conditioned to an idea of what's important. Most men's part of their brain says sex. The word love doesn't fit in there. Nobody, I mean, I could talk to 1,000 people. Not one of them will answer the truth about what love is. Oh, it feels good. I really feel. It's not feelings and it's not emotions. That's the brain. The brain does all that, not soul. Soul sits outside of the body, which is against Buddhism. When it sits outside the body, it's leaving that right there in that body to decay. It doesn't take it with them. Soul's awareness is different. But here's the thing, people. Soul exists forever. All right? Now, Jesus said, give your life to God, you'll have eternal life. Try to hold on to it, you'll lose it. Well, losing it just means coming back here and starting all over. But when you leave your body, soul is aware. And when you have those experiences, that's when you start to learn what you are. You can't learn what you are here. Well, I could learn psychic abilities. Nobody can do them at any kind of a level. 1%, 5%. If somebody was psychic and could predict 1 minute in the future, they can control the world. And that's not happening. And I dealt with hundreds of psychics, top ones as well. And they all claim different things. I say, prove one thing. Answer one question. Not one person, the top psychic in New York City. I said, I have one question and I just need an answer for it. And she was charging $500 for a half hour. She goes, I'm sorry, I can't answer your question. Before I even asked her it, people know by who you are what they can tell you. A psychic reads you to tell you what they want to tell you, what they think you want to know. Nobody's going to pay to go to a psychic to find out they're going to be killed by a plane crash next week. They want to know they're going to get millions of dollars, they're going to be rich, they're going to find a husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. All right? That's the difference. They can't even tell the truth. I met one psychic in my whole life so far who was pretty open about what she saw. But I can tell you incredible stories of 3 people that I met. A medicine woman and 2 psychics within a year, and what they all told me the same thing. So I wasn't making it up, but I still don't see it happening because the world is crashing. Not that I want to stop it. Mankind is not moving forward in any way. Oh, well, when we save one person in a sewer, we bomb a country and kill thousands of people. Does that make sense? Well, they're over there and we're over here. People don't care about truth. Murder, even if you're a Christian, read Revelations. It's a sin that can't be forgiven. When you join the army because your president said, go over there and kill those people, you're doing it. All right? Now, I hate to tell people that we're in the army that it was wrong. and their karma is going to be paid when they die, or even while they're alive. I mean, people come back with no legs, no arms, and all that. But what are you doing? Bombing other people, killing children, and never mind, they were raping the women over there as well. People, you follow parts of truth. I mean, there's movies of how the army was in the country and they were all raping this one girl, and nobody wanted to confess to it. I mean, those kind of things go on all the time. And now with the Epstein file, Trump's the biggest liar on the planet. What did he say at first? I don't know him. I'm not friends with that fool and blah, blah. Call him all kinds of names. He lived next to him for 9 years and went partying with him all the time. And you don't think anything happened the way Trump speaks? When he opened his, the talent, the modeling thing, he was always walking in the rooms with them, changing and stuff like he had the right to. I mean, he believed he's God, always did. Now, something nobody talks about, his great-grandfather wrote a book. Try to find it. And he talks about dictators and who's going to be in power and all that. And his great-grandfather was pretty much a psychic at some level. But read it and read what he predicts is going to happen to the planet. And this is Trump's great-grandfather. All right? I read parts of it. It was too disgusting. People, money changes everything. It does. Everything but the truth. You can't buy love for money. Money can't buy everything. I mean, the Beatles song, Cyndi Lauper song, all these songs about love and money. Money's evil. It will always be evil. All right? Not saying we can learn how to barter. It's way past that. Do we care about other people? You know, if you gave everything, give to whoever asked you, you wouldn't have anything left. And your best friends would still be taking stuff from you as well, which I'm learning the hard way. We're on a planet going to hell, dealing with horrible things, not making one thing better. Or maybe we'll get a medical plan to be here. And pay how much money? I mean, 2 countries like Canada, their bills are cheap. Other countries, they don't have to pay medical bills. All right? Well, we do. Now, where's all this money going? Again, do you know anything about underground cities? 10,000 people living underground. What are they eating? What, blah, 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 blah. All those things. Do you care? Denver Airport, and this is real, people, is the home of the U.S. Air Force New World Order. It was in steel in the floor for the first 2 years, and then they ripped it out and put a fountain over it. But there's a little plaque up on the top, second floor, about this big, U.S. Air Force New World Order. But it's underground cities, underground, a whole bunch of different things. Now, at first they were using machines to dig holes in the tunnel. So for miles around Denver Airport, you're going to see piles of rocks. But when they invented a laser gun that could create tunnels, a perfectly tubular tunnel, it eliminated all that. So the subway system are circular subways that slide through that tube, all right? But all that's real. And where's that money coming from? All this money that's being spent, and the rich people are getting richer. How's that possible? How do you get richer while all these things are being made? Who's paying for it? A sad thing is, who's paying for it is sad. So when we talk about science, it's one of the most evil things on the planet because you're not helping people in any good way. You know, I had injections in my shoulder many, many years ago. You know what they're using today? Still the same lubricant that goes in your shoulder, your joints, that doesn't work. You think they want to cure things? The high pharmaceutical companies want to cure anything? If we could cure everything, it would be over. Now, I'm going to tell you a piece of information that only I know, and I was given. Well, one friend was with me when it happened. All right. We have been working with aliens for a long time. Whether you believe that or not, I don't care. All right. But, getting back to MJ12, I knew a person in it. And they were working with aliens. And he told me, we were supposed to meet him. He says, I'm going to give you honey, all right? that cures all the diseases on this planet. Do you remember X-Files, the movie? If you didn't see it, watch it. It's all about bees. It's about the bee farm. She gets bit by a bee. Watch that movie. It's based on half of the facts that were really happening. All right? Needless to say, he's dead. All right? He was allowed to give out information about certain things, about all the government projects. But he gave out the wrong one. And they took him out and his whole family. People, you can listen to all these storytellers in the UFO world. I feel, that's baloney. Where's your proof? I was with, should I say his name or not? I don't want to promote him because we're not friends, but the person I work with, we shot more pictures of real UFOs than anybody else in the United States, maybe the world. All right? And we were showing them. We were lecturing around the United States for about 3 years as friends together. We had a fight, split for a while. We got back together. We did Kerry Cassidy's show for 9 months. We showed 5 new pictures of UFOs we shot every week. Not tic-tacs, not dots, not blurs, and things like that. Pictures of real ships. Oh, well, drones? No, this is from 1996 on. All right? We can't travel faster than the speed of light with a ship. They just said they could create something that could travel faster than the speed of light. All right? Through a machine and everything else. But that's not people in a ship. But people, you don't know what the government was doing with UFOs at that time. All right? Now, 2 ships that are real, the Aurora and the Delphi, and you're going to hear myths about them and everything else. I dealt with the people that were involved with it. I guess I could say his name. One of them's dead, Fred Bell. He was doing a show with Jesse Ventura, and the first thing Jesse Ventura said to him, "Aren't you afraid? Afraid what? The government is going to kill you?" "No, I work for the government." Too high up in the UFO world, too high up in the field. And then the show was over. They did it. It was on TV, but the next day he was found dead in a hotel room. All right. Nobody's too high to take out Kennedy. All right. People that are involved with the UFO world are the ones that are biggest targets right now. Because, we're working with 9 races. Sure, there's many races, but not one good race, people. If it was a good race, they'd be helping people, not the government, not the Army, not the Navy, not the Marines. Good people are people that are on the street, walking the street, trying to survive. All right? And they don't help us. They didn't help the Egyptians. They didn't help the Mayans. They didn't help the Aztecs. Now, all the hieroglyphics and the pyramids and stuff like that are all lies. Hieroglyphics. Oh, it's written in hieroglyphics. Yes, so what's it mean? Their idea of reincarnation is pathetic. What they did to the body, the human body, was pathetic. While they were still sacrificing people and all, they were evil people, not spiritual giants working in a pyramid, sending out beams of light to God or nothing like that. People, are you aware of what's really happening on the planet? No. And do you care? Probably not. And if you're watching this, if you're even sticking around to listen to any more of it, it's amazing because most people, oh, that doesn't sound good. Bye. Oh, I don't like that. All right. Let's go to a place where everybody will probably be, called religion and spirituality. 2 separate words. Religion usually means God and Jesus. All right? Spirituality means the universe, the sun, the moon, and universal energy. But they use the word Christ consciousness. How does that fit into what they're believing in? If you knew Christ, you would know what he meant, taught, and everything else. But even then, the people at his time did not know what he was teaching. For word God, they followed multiple gods when Jesus was trying to teach them. And obviously, there weren't any real gods at that time as well, what they were talking about. So he had to create a word, Father, instead of God. He said, my Father, because people wouldn't understand my God. Oh my God. People say that all the time. Oh my God. What God's that? The one that sits up there and protects your sorry ass? People are so filled with this lie that man made when Jesus was teaching had nothing to do with what was in the Bible. When he was on the mountain, he was preaching to a bunch of people standing there. He gave them some trivial information. All right? They weren't ready for a real God and death and all those kind of words. Reincarnation, what would that mean? Eternal life, that's what it would mean. So, and people, if you think Jesus didn't die, which is another belief system, you're really ignorant, because Jesus had one thing to teach. One thing only. All right? It was about when you die, you don't die. The body dies, but you don't as a soul. That's what he was teaching. So how could he prove that to anybody by words? I just told you, do you believe it? Unless you saw me come back, you wouldn't believe it. So he had to come back. And if he didn't come back, he wouldn't have had any disciples. They were all leaving. Mary Magdalene had to pull them all back together. And then she met Jesus and said, well, I want to bring you all to Jesus now. And it was a teaching that Jesus taught, which was kind of hidden, wasn't in the Bible. And then guess what, people? Christianity was created by more people telling stories. 99% of the Christians that followed Jesus were killed. Do you understand that? Anybody caught doing Jesus' practices were put on a cross. Mary Magdalene and Thomas were the only two people that left the country. Mary Magdalene went to England, Europe. Thomas went to India. That's why you hear the story, oh, Jesus went to India. No, he didn't. But Thomas did. Mary Magdalene lived. She had a daughter. But guess what? Guess who created what they had to do and followed and all that? The Knights of Templar, 100 years later. What am I thinking here? And she died, and then it was basically her daughter left. But again, people don't want that kind of truth. But what was Jesus really teaching? Be a good person, and he'll save your sorry ass. What's a good person? And he'll protect you. Protect you from what? A car crash? A bomb? What is he going to protect you from? People? Do you even understand anything Jesus said? Or try to? Oh no, the Bible. The Bible is a book written by a bunch of assholes. Now, the actual books of the disciples were found years and years later. Even Thomas's book was found. Mary Magdalene's book was found, supposedly. Judas's manuscript was found. Now, that goes into the UFO world. Billy Myers was going surveying in caves and stuff, and he found, supposedly, Judas's manuscripts. And that's a whole story, his story and everything else. But the same year, another manuscript of Judas' manuscripts were found in bits and pieces. A millionaire woman pieced it all, paid to have it all put back together. So Judas's manuscript's there too. But guess what, people? You don't even know the truth about Judas. Judas was Jesus' prized disciple. That's why he made him do what he had to do. If I told you got to kill me next year, and you do, how would you feel after you did it? Judas couldn't deal with what he had to deal with after Jesus was killed. But again, people, you want lies. You want to fill it with bullshit and make your head smile and feel good about life and people and what's going on. You know, people don't respect anybody. They don't respect themselves, never mind respect other people. We're at a point, how could we get better? How can we get worse? Oh, it's easy to get worse. Just do what we're doing. Getting back to the pyramids and all those time frames. Nothing was good. Nothing left either, did it? Giant pointed cones all over doing what? Well, there's a couple of statues in there, and there's hieroglyphics on the wall that say nothing important. Now, to show you how it crosses over, in the UFO world, the word abduction is the most dangerous word on the planet for UFOs. Because it's what they do, and it's what's the danger about it. But now, in the UFO world, they got a new word, experiences. And basically what that means, a person gets on a ship and they get toured of the universe and shown this, that, and the other thing. It's called mind programming. Your body can't go through that kind of situation in the first place. Second off, they can't tell you the truth, and they don't, because they're using your body. Everybody gets abducted for one reason. What they need from your body, not because you're a smart person, not because you're going to help them in any way with a thought or a magical formula. For your blood, not DNA, blood, semen, ovaries. And guess what the number one thing is that nobody in the UFO world likes to talk about, or will? Why are they really here? To save themselves. What do they need more than anything else that you need more than anything else, and what every creature on this planet needs more than anything else? Four-letter word. Not sex, the other word. But it's called food, F-O-O-D, food. What do you think aliens eat? How do you think aliens eat? Aliens eat different. The Greys eat one way, reptilians eat another way. But they do eat humans, people. You might not want to hear that, but that's the truth, people. Phil Snyder, read his story, what they found underneath there before it had to get blown up and all that. When he got blasted trying to leave after they killed half of everybody there. All right. They went into that base not knowing why they were going in there in the first place. They weren't told. We're going to go down and see a bunch of aliens. You think the government's going to tell them that before they go into a hole in the ground? I can go on to stories, whether I was lucky, unlucky, whatever word you want to use, but I experienced just about everything you possibly can. I cannot be abducted, number one thing. I was next to an alien. I was next to a ship. I saved my brother from getting abducted. All right? Not superhuman. I'm 72 and feeling it. So why am I here? My book is coming out in 2 weeks. Forbidden, Undeniable Truth About Jesus. The most important book I wrote. I wrote 5. I wrote another one for women only, which is more important for women only. All right. Hopefully somewhere before I die, I can get it out mainstream, which I'm trying. It's my life goal before I die right now, those 2 books. But the book about Jesus is the most important book because people need to understand why Jesus was here. He never claimed to be God, never said he was God. The one stupid line in the Bible was misconstrued, saying, he and I are one. Jesus never said, I am God. Even when he went to the Pharaohs, when he went here, there, and everywhere, when they were calling him names and saying, who are you? Say it, I am what you call me, because that's what you're calling me. But that doesn't make me that. Jesus never said to be God, but he did have abilities. And so did Mary Magdalene. The word they use in the UFO world, in the spiritual world, and multiple people using it, called ascension. There's a word called ascending, means when you die, you ascend into the next realm. Ascension means something totally different. Nobody on this planet went through it. Can prove it in any way. All right. 32 psychic abilities do exist on the astral plane. That's what you do learn. Jesus went and disappeared for how many days? 40 days, 40 nights, and everything else was fighting Satan. But again, he came back with 32 psychic abilities, but he didn't use them all. He didn't have to. He didn't want to. But a man today, any one of those abilities, man will use it to the max. You know why? I was a high priest at 16. I created a covenant. I learned most of the psychic abilities, and they are real for people able to use them. But you have to be working with certain things to be able to use them in the first place. But I realized one thing. They cannot be used on this planet in any good way. Well, heal the world. Heal the world. Go ahead and try. You're a great psychic. You can heal people, but you can't heal the world. People, you hear lies, you hear stories, you pay money more and more for what? More lies. How's that fit into society? Listen to your scientists. Listen to your drug addicts. Listen to The people that are so-called masters and teachers, what are they teaching you? To pay them their salary, go out there and meditate. Meditation's not the answer, people. It's the starting point of a space to enter, and then you got to do a lot more inside that space. Eliminating all feelings and emotions will put you in the bliss state where Buddha was. There was 4 Buddhas, people, not one. And basically none of them believed in a real God. The bliss state is like doing a drug and I'll stay here forever. I learned hypnosis when I was 14. Then I went to psychic implant removals, past life regression, and all that. I learned from the inside out. Dealt with women that lost their children by abduction and proved it. And you don't hear much about that anymore. Most people don't want to come out. The person I do my show with, listen to her story. She's becoming a #1 speaker in the UFO world about abduction. But here's something that nobody wants to answer. I wrote to scientists and talked to them. She's radioactive. Impossible. But it goes up and down. And I only found out last week from a scientist I know, good friend, said there's a radiation that does go up and down. Most radiation from a nuclear bomb and stuff stays there for 100 years. And it kills you sooner, more so sooner than later. All right? I met her by a Geiger counter 6 years ago when we started our show. She ended up buying 2 more over the past recent years and stuff. But they all prove she's radioactive. She has all the symptoms of radiation poisoning. She's still alive. And I keep telling her, there's only one reason why you're still alive, because something's keeping you alive. I'm not going to go into her whole story, but listen to our show. Buy her book. All right? I'm going to pull it up right this second. Probably not. Tina Bird. All right? Her books are out there, and they're really important if you want to know what's going on in the UFO world. She wants to do hypnosis and with a lie detector and everything. And do it live. And hopefully we can get money for it. It's so expensive to do any of that now. You know, people don't care about the truth. They just rather have the money for doing it. We're in a sad place, people. Back to spiritualism. Out of the 2,000 religions on this planet, all right, 2.5, I'll say. I'm not sure about one of them, but teach a little bit more about God than any of the other ones. How could you teach a little bit more? Well, your perception of God right now is 0. Oh, no, it watches us. He watches us. He. It's not a he, all right? He watches us. Do what? Go to the bathroom? Eat dinner? What's he watching you do? Car's coming to hit your car. He blocks the car. What's he do if he's watching you? All right? You know, people, you love the word protection. Men do. And it goes against women because men always kept women slaves for 200,000 years, which is sad, which most of them still are at multiple. Taylor Swift, she's my idol as far as songs, and she's been a victim of abuse all her life. People, you know, it's horrible what man does to women, and women never got the courage, the strength to fight back. Well, we're deteriorating. And women aren't supporting each other. If a woman stands up for Trump, what planet are they coming from? Now, when we talk about spiritualism, these people walk about, I'm one with the universe. And what's that mean? What's it do? Nothing. Doesn't help you understand a God because you're not even thinking about a God. You're not even responsible for your actions. Well, I'll do this, I'll learn. If it doesn't work, I'll do that. Jesus said you live by the laws that are there, and if they're not right, you change them. Even that makes more sense than anything else anybody says. But the way Trump is going, we can't do anything, and he removes people. But it was based on Mr. Bush. The day after 9/11, he rearranged what Jefferson said about the right to form a militia if the government is out of control. He reversed it. The government's allowed to do whatever they want if the people are out of control. All right? And that happened the day after 9/11. And his words were, you are either for us or you're a terrorist. All right? And that was when the whole thing was supposed to be exposed, and it went the opposite way. People, things happen for a reason. Now, even Mr. Putin talked to Bush, sorry, wrong president, to Trump. He said it on Russian TV live. I'm going to repeat it, and this is real, people. I'm not making it up. All right, let's start at the beginning. Putin did a TV show, and it was in Russian. I had to translate it as he was saying it. He said, I want you, Trump, to tell the world what really happened at 9/11. All right? Then he says, I want you to tell the world what yous are doing with aliens right now. Okay? Then he said, we are working with aliens right now, but two races want to destroy the planet. That was from Putin himself. When he met Trump, he told him the same thing. The day after they met, what did he do? I'm creating the Space Force, which was already there. All right, but Trump had an interview with his son, and he goes, I don't believe in aliens. So, whether he downplayed what Putin said, could be, probably did, but who knows what Putin's really going to do? I guess he wanted the world to know what's really going on in the UFO world. Because we, as a nation, are fighting with aliens, people. You want to hear that or not? And we got people like Stephen Greer fighting with Congress to tell them to expose the truth, but he's saying most of it's just government stuff. And no, it's not, people. The government can't drive ships faster than the speed of light and go up into the space that way either. All you hear is lies, stories, twisted truth. And in the UFO world, every day there's a new person going, well, I believe that this was what's going on. And I believe, well, I saw. Seeing something once in your life is one thing. Being a part of it on a yearly basis, like Tina, the person I do my show with, and what I experience in my life, it's not like a one-day thing and your mind takes it and makes it whatever it wants it to be. You're next to an alien, you'll never forget that. Your life will change. You won't be the same. I was sitting next to an alien at 12 years old. I stopped my brother from getting abducted at 6. People, and I don't even know how, why, what I did when I was little. We were in the hospital. But again, having our tonsils taken out. But people, you want to believe things so strongly, especially that things are good. I wish everything was good. I wish people cared about everybody else as well. Wish people had feelings and emotions and really cared about each other. We care about the money we make and what we can do with our body and ourselves. Who cares about people down the block? I don't even want to know them. If we all knew each other as people, we might care about them. People shouldn't be starving. People shouldn't be homeless. People shouldn't be having children while they're on drugs. I mean, there's a lot of things that are making things happen the way they are. And they could be rearranged and fixed. Are you ready to get involved with life? Probably not. If Trump stays in for another 3 years, we're so screwed every which way. His ego, his mind, he's a sex pervert, for one. He's a criminal. He allowed the attack on the White House and actually said, well, this is going to be the worst firestorm ever. Why? How? Nobody listened to that and say that. And he says, I don't want everybody to come. Some of you should stay home. Meaning he knew people were going to get hurt. Well, he thought people were going to get hurt. Things were going to happen. And he said, if you're not ready for that, you shouldn't be going. He wanted to go too, didn't he? People, how can you believe he wasn't involved with that? You want to believe who? Lies? You hear something over and over. All right? It programs the mind. When I was 14, I was doing hypnosis, but I met an army hypnotist who helped me learn a lot more about it. And he says, programming the mind is what happens. But you need a clear mind. You can't be on drugs, you can't be on that. But going back to when I first learned hypnosis, I was doing it at 12. I met Kreskin, who was considered the top hypnotist in the United States at the time, going from school to school. And I went up on stage the first time. I met him the second time. And then I started doing hypnosis the year after that. But the wording he used, he goes, Hitler was the greatest person using mind control. And the word he used that he called it was the power of suggestion. You suggest something to the subconscious mind over and over. The subconscious mind accepts it in 21 days, whatever it is. So that's how fast you can reprogram the conscious mind. All right. And he said he did it to his people. Trump's on TV about 1,000 times on the internet a day. You see and hear his lies every single day. And whether they're true or not, you hear it over and over in the subconscious thinking of your brain. It's programming it at a certain level. No other person had this much publicity in history, or wanted it, or needed it, and had to be there in front of your face all the time. Well, we're in trouble again. Now, religion is not the answer. Oh, I go to church on Sunday. Sunday is one day. You want to go into the Bible again? The Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments that were written were just rules to live by. They don't hurt nobody, people. The Ten Commandments. Moses didn't like the Ten Commandments. He wrote 63 laws that no human can follow. The Hasidic Jewish people have to follow them in their mind. They say they do. Go to a bookstore. I know when I was younger, go in any bookstore, the Hasidic Jews were always reading Playboy magazine, Hustler, and they're going. But people, you can lie to the world, but you can't lie to yourself. You can lie to yourself, but it won't be real. Where are we going, people? Who are you going to follow? I don't even want to follow them because you don't want the truth. I mean, if I had 100 people right now that wanted to follow the truth, we'd be standing in front of the White House saying, kill us and take Trump out. I mean, we don't need to live on a planet that's doomed and getting worse daily unless that changes. But who knows? How is it going to change or is it not? The only chance of changing that is in January. And it depends how many more people get programmed or unprogrammed. Where you get your money from? What's going to go give everybody a couple $1,000 just to say, I'm going to vote for this person? $500,000? What is he going to give everybody? When he was enemies with Trump for a short period of time last year, he says, I'm going to expose the Epstein files. He said it. I'm going to expose the Epstein files. Oh, then all of a sudden they're buddies again. How'd that happen? People, you better think it out. Think who your loyalty is. Should be God, but that's besides the point. You don't know what a God is, so how can you be loyal to it? Religions teach you what? It's a man sitting in a chair on top of a mountain in the sky. What do you believe about God? It is what it is. And what's that, people? Do you know how big it is? Do you know what color it vibrates at? Do you know where it actually is right now? Not on planet Earth. It doesn't come into this realm. This Earth would explode. Science going to prove anything about it? Can they? Will they? Do they want? We found a God gene. What the freaking brainstorm was that? And what is a God gene? Not part of God because soul is not part of the body. People, you can listen to all the speakers out there, but if you have questions, ideas that you want to know behind them, email me, hawksblood1@aol.com. Come on my show on a Thursday, or I'll set up a show if you got really important something to do, talk about, whatever. I'm going to be bringing a really important person on hopefully soon. I told you my friend Sean David Martin, who discovered Area 51, discovered the motherships that came over it and brought people there to watch it. And then they put him in jail. And they were torturing him in jail, and then he was dying, they had to let him out, and then he died. People, where do you want to go? What do you want to follow? What do you want to do? Well, I'm happy. I got dinner tonight. Live in your fantasy. but don't want the truth, that's your choice. Most people don't. Again, how many times can I say that? I'd love to see somebody say, oh, I really would want to know something. What is God really? Well, that's a really good question. And you can learn to experience more about it, which is what you should be thinking about. Because you're going to die. You're not going to live more than 125 years, no matter what you do, what you eat, or what you put in your body, or what you don't put in your body. And then what? Start praying again and pray, oh, I hope I see God. I hope I see angels. I hope I see my mom. Why? You're reincarnated many times. I'm going to go into reincarnation before I close the show. Reincarnation is souls that reincarnate over and over, meaning you didn't learn what you came here for, and you're sure not going to go to a higher place because you don't know what you're doing. It's like saying you were starting to study how to fly a spaceship, but you didn't get inside a spaceship yet. And you really think they're going to let you inside a spaceship to fly it away? Stupid scenario, but again, people, you need to learn why you're here, why you're going to go, and then where you're going to go. What's going to happen when that happens? Well, I'm going to worry about my family. You're not going to go anywhere. You're going to reincarnate. Lust, greed, anger, vanity, and attachment is one religion's words for that. Lust, greed, anger, vanity, attachment. I say drugs, cheap thrills, cheap sex. All right. Sports is the number one thing for most men and women now too. Fake love. All those things will keep you here because none of them relate to God. Well, I love my partner. That means you love God? What do you love about God? Well, he introduced me to my wife. Really? And how long is that going to last? 125 years if you both live that long? Or if he dies tomorrow? Well, I'll find somebody else. Love is so picky. I can't even think of fickle, whatever words. But it's not an important word as people think it is. Compassion is much more important. You can't love the world, can't love everybody on it, but you can become passionate to people in the world. All right, people. I hope you got something out of today. Rev.Hawksblood, calling from the big island of Hawaii. I'm not going to go into any more details about who and what I am. I go into that on and off, but it's more concerned what you want to attain, what you want to do in this life. Do you care about what happens when you die? If not, enjoy it. Go out, have more sex, go out and have more drugs, party, do whatever you want. Jump off a plane without a parachute, see how far that gets you. Cheap thrills come and go. They last for a short period of time. All right. Again, if you have the ability, send this link to everybody you know or even don't know. Put it up on your site, please, if you can. Let them decide what's right, what's wrong, what they want out of life, what they're going to do with it, and what they expect. Well, I want to leave people what? Your love, your heart. When you want to meet them again, really? Reincarnation means you had many families, many lifetimes of different families and people and children. Which one you want to be with now? If you had two wives in this lifetime and they both died and now you're with the new one, who do you think you're going to be with in heaven? Well, I didn't think about that yet. Well, you will when you're getting close to dying. Well, who am I going to be with? My mom, my wife, my children? Again, it doesn't matter, people. Soul isn't this body. And your body changes when you raise your awareness. It gets better. It gets 100 times better from the astral plane to the realm after that and the realm after that. Believe me, I went through them and they're incredible. Why am I still here? To get my last book out. And I said myself about my one book, but this is my last book. All right. Undeniable. All right. It's definitely undeniable book about Jesus, but it's all right. Till next time. Tommy.Hawksblood here. I'll put my book out on my shows and everywhere as soon as it's released, hopefully in 2 weeks. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you want in your life, hope you get it. Don't stop. Don't end it because you think you found it. You never found the truth, the highest truth, and there's always a better truth to find. And if you find it, then there is no reason to stay here. All right, people. Tommy.Hawksblood, you heard it first.